I just want to start off with the outdoor graduation. It wasn't something that I did on my own. And that's the thing about politics, work isn't done by one person. It's done as a whole team. And that's one thing that I was able to do with the seniors at the time, the class of 2019. I was able to meet with them. And I remember I met with them June of 2018.
Okay.
So they were juniors, and I went into the classroom. Ilana Asher, one of my favorite teachers, someone who I like a lot, someone who I appreciate a lot, connected with me and asked me to come speak to the classroom. So I decided to go into the classroom. It was her AP government class, and I went to go speak to them. And they had questions about different issues and policies that were in place at Chelsea High School that were unfair, and those were the same issues that all of us here went through as well. So, I spoke with them and they asked me a question: what can we do in order to get an outdoor graduation? So at the time, I was new. I was like, I'm only 4 months into office and they're asking me these type of questions. I'm like, what am I going to tell them? I told them, it all starts with advocacy, no matter what. A lot of these students, what they were doing was advocating to their principal, to their teachers, and that is not the right thing. A lot of these students didn't know that they had a school committee that made all these decisions and that, were the ones who voted on things regarding budget, regarding policies and all that stuff. So I told them, if you guys really want a change, asking your principal is not going to help. You have to go into the school committee meetings and speak up on the things that matter to you. So I remember that following summer, there was a small break. We have a recess in the summer, a 2-month recess. But if we have to go into a meeting during the summer, then we will. But usually there's a small recess during the summer, and then we go back in August during the school year. So when we went back in August, I drew all these notes. I had all these notes and ideas from the class of 2019 that they wanted an outdoor graduation. It wasn't fair that we were sticking families into an auditorium and they were watching their kids graduate from an auditorium, because the gym was too small and they were given limited amount of tickets. So I brought all of this to the attention with the help of the students and Ilana Asher. I brought it to the attention of my colleagues. When I brought this to the table, I only had 2 people out of the 9 members, including myself, supporting me with the outdoor graduation. And it wasn't until I had, I gathered up with the students and one of my colleagues, Richard Moronsky, who, also resigned. I will get to that part after. But I gathered up with Richard Moronsky and we met with a group of 5 students of the class of 2019. And, we started talking about certain ways that we could achieve this goal of having an outdoor graduation. So when I brought it up to the table, the superintendent at the time wasn't a big fan of me.
To say the least, I say the least.
So, I ask a lot of questions. If I think something is not fair, I will ask these questions.
As you should.
As you should, yeah.
So I decided, I told her we're working on getting this outdoor graduation. This is an advocacy from the class of 2019. This is a policy that I want to bring forward, not for a gain of, admiration towards myself, but to help these students out and give them something that none of us here had, an outdoor graduation, Mm-hmm. So it took about, I want to say maybe we started talking about it in August. And throughout August and January, it was a battle. It was a battle because every time I tried to, question why we couldn't have an outdoor graduation, they would bring things up like, oh, what if it rains? What if it's, like the weather's too hot, we're going to sweat, things like that. Oh, you can't walk in heels in the field. They're making a new field, so we don't want to damage it. So they were bringing all these excuses. And each time they brought these excuses, I wanted to make sure the students were right there in the meeting, to see that these are the people that are making the decisions.
Okay.
And if you want a change, you speak directly to your representative of the school committee, and it wasn't towards January until we had a, final decision. Yes, we're going to have outdoor graduation. It was a really, really long battle. I know towards the end, when my colleagues started seeing that more and more students were coming to the meetings, that's when I started seeing a change in my colleagues. They started supporting this idea of an outdoor graduation. But once it was decided, they wanted to have the graduation. First, it was planned to have it at the complex. They also thought about having it at Admiral's Hill, but the students wanted it at the field. And when they brought up the excuse of, the field's going to get damaged, well, first of all, that field is public, and you have a bunch of people who go there. Not only that, you have sports teams at the high school that are using it. Some students may use metal cleats when they're probably not supposed to, but they will, and that also damages the field. So, they started saying things like that. And then after that, the students and we brought it to the attention of the city council. What can you guys do in order to help us out with this? So the council proposed on, it's a platform. It's like, I don't know if it's a plastic platform, but it's a special platform that they use at stadiums when they have concerts to not damage the field. So the city council of Chelsea was able to donate that. It was, I don't want to say a wrong number, but I think it was roughly about $174,000 around there to the cost of adding that platform into the field for it not to be damaged. And this was just one thing. And all the work I've done in the school committee is not the work I've done by myself. It's work that I've done with students, with some colleagues, and with community members who actually want change in the in the school system. And it's just something that when they see my age, when they see that I'm a Latino trying to get into this and try to make a change, you start seeing people trying to guide you in certain directions. But I've always been the type of person, I'm going to stick to my gut. I'm going to stick to what I believe is right. And I'm not going to be guided by no one on each side of the aisle.